Hey, space cadets! Welcome back to Alien Affluence, where we explore the most mind-blowing corners of the cosmos. And today we're diving headfirst into a question that's as intriguing as it is outlandish. Can you actually buy a planet? I know, it sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel. But what if I told you that right now people are already claiming to own planets? That's right, while you're here on Earth paying rent, there are people who believe they legally own parts of the Moon, Mars, and even entire exoplanets. But here's the real question. If you wanted to buy an entire planet, how much would it actually cost? Who would sell it to you? And more importantly, would you even be allowed to own it? These are the kinds of questions that keep me up at night, staring at the ceiling and wondering about the vast economic possibilities of the universe. So buckle up, because in this video, we're breaking down the craziest space economy facts that will make you question everything you know about money. Get ready for a cosmic roller coaster ride through the world of planetary price tags, legal loopholes, and the potential for billionaires to become interstellar landlords. Let's get started. So you're telling me there are people out there who think they can own a piece of the cosmos? It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, doesn't it? The idea of owning a planet or even a piece of one seems so far-fetched, yet it's a concept that has intrigued and fascinated people for decades. Well, believe it or not, the answer is a resounding yes. There are indeed individuals who have tried to stake their claim on celestial bodies. And it all started with a guy named Dennis Hope back in 1980. Dennis wasn't just any ordinary person, he was a visionary with a unique perspective on space and property rights. Now Dennis wasn't an astronaut or a billionaire, just a regular guy with an extraordinary idea. He saw an opportunity where no one else did, and he decided to take a bold step. He discovered what he believed to be a loophole in the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, which, by the way, is kind of like the rule book for space. This treaty was designed to prevent any one nation from claiming sovereignty over celestial bodies. This treaty states that no nation can claim ownership of a celestial body. It was a way to ensure that space remained a realm for all of humanity, free from territorial disputes. But here's the catch. It doesn't specifically mention individuals or companies. This omission was the key to Dennis's grand plan. Dennis saw this as a golden opportunity. He realized that if nations were prohibited from claiming celestial bodies, perhaps private individuals could step in and fill that void. He figured if countries couldn't claim the moon, maybe he could. It was a daring and audacious idea, but Dennis was determined to see it through. So he did what any enterprising individual would do. He laid claim to the moon, Mars, Venus, and even some moons of Jupiter. He sent declarations of ownership to the United Nations and the United States government, asserting his rights over these celestial bodies. And guess what? People bought it, literally. They were intrigued by the novelty and the sheer audacity of the idea. Dennis started selling plots of land on the moon for a few bucks an acre, and his business, Lunar Embassy, took off like a rocket. People from all walks of life were eager to own a piece of the moon. He claims to have sold over 6 million acres on the moon alone. That's a staggering amount of lunar real estate. I mean, we're talking about celebrities like Tom Cruise, George Lucas, and even former presidents Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter who've reportedly purchased lunar real estate. The idea captivated the imaginations of many. Now you might be thinking, this sounds like a load of space debris. It seems too outlandish to be true. Surely no one actually believes they own a piece of the moon just because they have a novelty certificate. It's more of a fun and quirky conversation piece than a serious claim of ownership. And you know what? You're probably right. Most people see it as a novelty, a whimsical idea rather than a legitimate property claim. But here's the thing, it raises some fascinating questions about property rights in space. As we venture further into the cosmos, these questions become more relevant and pressing. Think about it, if we ever do establish permanent settlements on the moon or Mars, who gets to decide who lives where? Who owns the resources? These are complex issues that will need to be addressed. And what happens when those resources become incredibly valuable? The potential for conflict and competition is immense. These are the kinds of questions that will shape the future of space exploration and the potential for a whole new kind of cosmic economy. The decisions we make now could have far-reaching implications. So while Dennis Hope might not be the rightful owner of the moon, he certainly got people thinking about the possibilities, and that, my friends, is a pretty stellar accomplishment in itself. His bold idea has sparked conversations and debates that continue to this day. Alright, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the astronomical price tag that comes with owning an entire planet. Imagine the sheer scale of such an endeavor. Now, I'm not talking about a measly few acres here. I'm talking about the whole shebang. The entire planet, from its core to its atmosphere, every mountain, valley, and ocean. And let me tell you, it's not exactly pocket change. We're diving into numbers that are almost unfathomable. The cost of a planet would make even the most extravagant billionaire blush. We're talking about sums that would make their eyes water. We're talking about figures that would make the GDP of Earth look like a rounding error, the kind of money that could fund entire nations for centuries. So, how do you even begin to put a price tag on something as massive and complex as a planet? It's a question that boggles the mind. Well, it all comes down to a few key factors: size, resources, and location. These elements are crucial in determining the value. Let's start with a hypothetical scenario: a barren, lifeless rock floating in the vast expanse of space. A planet with no atmosphere, no water, just rock and dust. Think of it as the cosmic equivalent of a fixer-upper, a place with potential but requiring a lot of work and investment. Now, based on land value calculations here on Earth, we're looking at a cool $1 trillion for a planet roughly the size of our own. That's just the starting point. But let's say you're feeling a bit more ambitious. You want more than just a barren rock. You want a planet with an atmosphere, maybe even a hint of water ice lurking beneath the surface. Something that shows promise for future development. Something like Mars or Venus. These planets have characteristics that make them intriguing for potential colonization. Well, now we're talking serious money. Upwards of $100 trillion. The price skyrockets because of the added potential. Why the astronomical price jump? It's all about the possibilities that come with an atmosphere. Because an atmosphere, even a thin one, represents potential. It means there's a chance for life, for resources, for a future beyond Earth. It means there's a chance for life, for resources, for a future beyond Earth. The potential for colonization and resource extraction is immense. And that, my friends, is priceless. The value of such potential is beyond mere numbers. But what about a planet like our own? A world that already has everything we need to thrive. A lush, vibrant world teeming with life and oceans of liquid water. A place where ecosystems are already in place. Well, let's just say that such a planet would be worth more than the entire economy of Earth combined. The value would be astronomical. It would be a treasure beyond measure, a cosmic oasis that would make even the most jaded billionaire weep with joy. The ultimate prize in the universe. So, while the dream of owning an entire planet might seem like the stuff of science fiction, the reality is that it would be an investment of truly astronomical proportions, a venture that would require resources and vision beyond our current capabilities. But hey, a space enthusiast can dream, right? After all, dreaming is the first step towards making the impossible possible. Chapter 3. Now, let's talk about the folks who might actually have a shot at owning a planet someday. The billionaires who are already making space their playground. These are the visionaries who are not just dreaming about the stars, but are actively working to reach them. I'm talking about the likes of Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson. These individuals have already made significant strides in the realm of space exploration, each with their own unique vision and approach. These titans of industry are locked in a modern-day space race, pouring billions into their respective companies, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic. Their investments are not just about building rockets, they are about creating a sustainable future in space. Their goal? To make space travel more accessible, to colonize Mars, and to push the boundaries of human exploration. They envision a future where humanity is not confined to Earth, but is a multiplanetary species. But here's a thought. What if their ambitions extend beyond simply visiting space? What if their ultimate goal is to own a piece of the cosmos? What if they have their sights set on owning entire planets? Imagine the possibilities and the implications of such ownership. Now, before you dismiss this as pure science fiction, consider this. As space travel becomes more affordable and accessible, the idea of planetary ownership might not be as far-fetched as it seems. The advancements in technology and the reduction in costs could make this a reality sooner than we think. Imagine a future where Musk establishes the first self-sustaining city on Mars. This city could be a hub of innovation and a new beginning for humanity. Would he effectively own it? Would the laws of Earth apply, or would new governance structures emerge? Would Mars become a Martian republic with its own economy, laws, and maybe even its own currency? The concept of a new society on another planet is both thrilling and daunting. Would people be paying rent to Elon Musk just for the privilege of living on the red planet? The dynamics of property and ownership in space could redefine our understanding of economics and society. It's a wild thought, but one that's not entirely outside the realm of possibility. The future holds many unknowns, and space ownership could be one of them. And it's not just about individual billionaires either. Corporations could play a significant role in this new frontier. Imagine massive corporations establishing mining operations on asteroids, claiming ownership of entire moons for their resources. The race for space resources could become the next gold rush. We could see a future where space becomes the ultimate capitalist frontier, a playground for the ultra-wealthy to amass even more wealth and power. The implications of such a scenario are vast and complex. Now, I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing, It's a multifaceted issue with many perspectives. I'm just saying it's something we need to start thinking about. The ethical, legal, and social implications of space ownership are profound, because the decisions we make today about space exploration and resource management will have far-reaching consequences for generations to come. We must tread carefully as we venture into this new frontier. The future of space is up for grabs, and it's a future that could be shaped by billionaires with cosmic ambitions. Their dreams and actions today could define the destiny of humanity in the cosmos. Chapter 4. Alright, let's bring things back down to Earth for a moment and talk about the legal realities of owning a planet. Because as it stands, the laws surrounding space are about as clear as a nebula after a supernova. The cornerstone of space law is the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, a document signed by over 100 countries including all the major spacefaring nations. This treaty, as we've discussed, prevents any nation from claiming sovereignty over a celestial body. But here's the rub, it doesn't explicitly prohibit individuals or corporations from doing so. And that, my friends, is where things get interesting. This legal gray area is precisely what allowed Dennis Hope to build his lunar real estate empire. And it's a loophole that has yet to be truly tested in court. But what happens when we move beyond novelty land deeds and start talking about billionaires claiming ownership of entire planets? What happens when corporations start mining asteroids and claiming the resources as their own? Will the Outer Space Treaty hold up under the weight of these cosmic ambitions? Or will we see a new era of space law emerge, one that grapples with the complexities of property rights, resource management, and the very definition of ownership in the vastness of space? These are questions that will likely be debated for decades to come, but one thing is clear, the laws of space, much like the universe itself, are constantly evolving. And as we venture further into the cosmos, we'll need to develop a new legal framework that can keep pace with our ambitions and ensure that space remains a realm of peace, exploration, and shared discovery. Chapter 5. So, we've traveled through the cosmos, explored the astronomical costs, and pondered the legal complexities of planetary ownership. But let's bring it back to you, the intrepid viewer. Could you one day own a piece of the cosmic pie? Right now, the answer is a resounding no. But the future? Well, that's a different story altogether. If space exploration continues on its current trajectory, if we become a multiplanetary species, if space travel becomes as commonplace as hopping on a plane, then the idea of owning a planet might not be as outlandish as it seems today. Imagine a future where planets are auctioned off to the highest bidder, where corporations vie for control of resources, where real estate extends beyond Earth and into the cosmos. It's a future that could be filled with both incredible opportunities and daunting challenges. But here's the thing, even if you never own an entire planet, the very act of thinking about it, of grappling with the possibilities, is an exercise in expanding our horizons and challenging our preconceived notions about what's possible. So while you're saving up for that down payment on a lunar acre, remember this: the universe is vast, full of wonders and possibilities beyond our wildest imaginations. And who knows, maybe one day the dream of owning a planet will be within our reach. But until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep your eyes on the stars. Because the future of space is waiting to be written, and it's a future that we can all be a part of. So there you have it, folks. The wild, wacky, and utterly mind-blowing world of planetary ownership. From legal loopholes to billionaire space races, we've covered it all. But as we venture further into the cosmos, one thing is certain: the rules of the game are about to change. The next few decades will be crucial in shaping the future of space exploration and resource management. Will we see a new era of space law emerge, one that grapples with the complexities of property rights on a cosmic scale? Will billionaires become the landlords of the solar system, or will we find a more equitable way to share the resources of space? These are questions that will challenge our assumptions, spark our imaginations, and ultimately determine the fate of humanity among the stars. And as we stand on the precipice of this new frontier, one thing is clear: the future of space is ours to shape. So, let's make it a future worthy of the cosmos itself.